Hi everybody, I'm Kathleen from Make the Change, and it's Wednesday night and it's Let's Talk, and tonight we are talking about learn and adapt. Now, as soon as we are born, we are learning and we are adapting to life. We are learning and adapting to how we can get what we want, how we can get food, how we can get more comfortable, how can we feel more loved, how can we feel wanted. And we adapt when we're very, very young about using the different cries for help. And I found that with my children, that the cry for pain was very different to the cry for discomfort, for example. And then, but unfortunately, as we go through life, people pass comment on how we're thinking, how we're feeling, and how we are behaving. And some of it is going to be very useful to it, and some of it isn't. And unfortunately, as we get older, we can start to overthink these things, start to add in other situations to reinforce what other people have said, and then we can take it all out of context. And that can really hinder us in finding our way forwards through the learning and adapting process, and we can get stuck. Okay, now going back about however many 15 years it was, I set up and taught for many years a parentcraft course in offender learning. And when I had to set this course up, I had to think about where I learnt my parenting skills from. And the first port of call is how you were parented. So there we go, from our parents. And I started to think about what my parents did for me and for my sister that, I have used and with my children, or perhaps, because I like the way they did that, there are going to be other things that I like but wanted to adapt it to perhaps a more modern lifestyle, or particularly to my children. And then there are other things that I didn't like, and I purposely thought about why I didn't want to perhaps use those phrases, use those parenting techniques to be able to be the parent that I wanted to be. And then I started, as I was, going through my parenting journey, I started to notice what other mothers and fathers were doing, the phrases that they were using perhaps to solve arguments, or to make my children think a little bit more. And of course, reading books, watching documentaries, even watching films and, TV programs. So, reading books, reading magazines. And so there is an awful lot of different ways that we can learn about what it is that we want to adapt and change in our life. And then more recently, I broke my ankle, and yes, the pain is a lot worse than I thought it was going to be with a broken ankle. And yes, the pain restricts you, and the lack of movement restricts you. But and some things are going to be very, very difficult at first. But this again took me back to other situations. So this took me back to thinking about my husband's nan, who was, really struggling with arthritis. She was on a Zimmer frame. And it's made me think about, how did she get her washing, her dirty laundry down the stairs, in the washing machine, out in the garden, out on the line, back in the house, back upstairs, all folded nicely and put away. And so these processes are really, really important to think about, so that you can get on with, living your normal as best as you can. And as you go through the process, you can adapt things, make it better, make it more fluid. But it's about always going through that learning process, isn't it? This is about educating ourselves in a different way besides, through qualifications. This is about education of life, isn't it? how do you overcome that obstacle that is in your way, that is stopping you doing what you would like to do, what you need to do, and you know what you love to do. And you know, some things you're going to be disabled with for a short period of time, and it is going to become easier as you get through that short period of time, and other things you're going to have to adapt for long term. Okay, but it's all about a process, and it's all about really getting in contact with what it is that is stopping you, what it is that is making you feel stuck. Where is that area that you need to be developing on? Is it to do with your physical body? Is it to do with something in your mindset? Is it to do with asking for help and support? Or it might be a whole mixture of different things. Okay. And then it's about looking outside of yourself to see what other people are doing, just like I did, with learning more about me as a parent, or how I manage, with my washing when I broke my ankle. And so it's looking at how other people have done things, and what can you take from that? What can you take from what they have done and use it to help you? Okay. And then, of course, it's a trial, learn, adapt cycle. All right. Because it probably isn't going to perhaps work the first time, or it works fairly well, but you can see a way of changing it so that it can work even better for you. And so it is a process of learning, isn't it? Trial, learn, adapt, trial, learn, adapt, all the way through until you find the right way for you. And as you trial it and learn and adapt, you're going to be able to make it very usable for you. You're going to home in, you're going to be able to perfect ideas, you're going to think of other great things as you go along, and which means in the long run then you are going to come up with hopefully the perfect solution to get over that feeling of being stuck in your life with whatever it might be. So a few things for you to think about there. What are you stuck with? Where are you stuck with it? Okay. Whose ideas and influences can you use to help you, to support you on this? Trial, learn, and then adapt to make it even better for you. But if you are struggling with the trial, learn and adapt process, or even with finding where it is that you are stuck, then give me a shout. Go to my website, kathlloyd.co.uk, send me a message, and we can set up a conversation to start working out how you can unravel those feelings of being stuck. So, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a great evening, have a great week, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye bye now.